Hi there and welcome to WCMU's Quiz Central, where it's an honor tonight to have with us Manistee and Big Rapids for our game. I hope you don't go away.
Support for Quiz Central is provided by the CMU Bookstore. T-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, maroon and gold memories, and an official outfitter of Adidas apparel at the Central Michigan University owned and operated CMU Bookstore. Online shopping 7 days a week at cmubookstore.com, on campus at the University Center, and game day locations at Kelly Short Stadium and the John G. Kulhalvy Event Center.
Good luck to both of our teams. Let's play Quiz Central.
Chopin.
Correct. All right, your next toss-up.
The lottery.
Right.
The Stranger.
You are correct. Traverse City Central hangs on. They are our season champions. Hi there, and thanks for tuning in to Quiz Central. I'm your host, Steve Smith. With us tonight, Manistee and Big Rapids. Should be a good game, so don't go away. We have 2 of 48 teams competing again this season. The teams are divided into 4 divisions based on school size. Each division will have a champion, and one of those teams will become this season's overall winner. They're vying for scholarships from Central Michigan University, and Rick Westover has details about that.
The 4 starters and 3 alternates of the division championship teams will each receive a 2-year, $4,000 room and board scholarship from Central Michigan University Residence Life. In addition, 4 lucky Quiz Central seniors will receive textbook scholarships from the CMU Bookstore. And a special thanks to CMU Enrollment and Student Services, which provides lunch for our contestants and their traveling party.
And both teams are ready to get underway, so let's jump right into the maroon and gold round. Teams, you have 2 minutes to answer as many questions as possible. If the team ringing in misses the question, the opposing team will have a chance to respond. There's no talking among team members, and correct answers are worth 10 points. Good luck to both of our teams. Here's your first question. What number is the number of planets without natural satellites and is also the number of inferior planets that are closer to the sun than Earth is? Liam Manistee.
2.
That's correct. What philosophical position, which has substance and property types, asserts that the mind and body are entirely different? Your next question. The phrase, "it was Greek to me," is said by Casca in what Shakespearean tragedy, which depicts a conspiracy to assassinate the title Roman general? Jack Manistee.
Julius Caesar.
Right. Next question. What event planned by Mary Ann McClintock and Elizabeth Cady Stanton took place in 1848 and included the adoption of the Declaration of Sentiments? Solana Manistee.
Seneca Falls Convention.
That is correct. In October 2018, what state's incumbent independent governor, Bill Walker, dropped his re-election bid, endorsing Democrat Mark Begich? Next question. What man, who may have been represented as Bart in his friend Mark Judge's book Wasted, replaced Anthony Kennedy on the Supreme Court in 2018? Solana Manistee.
Brett Kavanaugh.
That's right. In Greek legend, Polyphemus was a member of what race of one-eyed giants? Liam Manistee.
Cyclops.
Right. What element found in the mercury ore cinnabar combines with iron to form fool's gold, forms smelly compounds, and has the atomic symbol S? Liam Manistee.
Sulfur.
Right. What literary character runs to a brook to wash her face after being kissed by her father? Next question. Gabriel is saved from release in what dystopian novel in which 12-year-old Jonah, Olivia Manistee?
The Giver.
That's right, just under the buzzer. All right, a fast start to our game there. Manistee 70, Big Rapids 0. Some of our questions that were missed. The literary character that runs to the brook to wash her face, that was Pearl Prynne. The state's incumbent independent governor who dropped his re-election bid would be Alaska. That would be the state of Alaska. And the philosophical position was dualism. All right, so this is a chance now where we get to know our teams just a little bit better. We're going to turn to Emma first. Hi, Emma.
Hi, I'm Emma Hauger. I'm a senior at Big Rapids High School. I do bowling and I play softball.
I am Jonah Weber. I'm a senior at BRHS. I play the French horn and I'm on the tennis team.
My name is Lucas. I am a senior at Big Rapids High School. I am in the choir and GSA.
I'm Tyler Zimmerman, and I go to Big Rapids as well as a senior. I'm on the cross-country team. I'm mayor of our student council, and I am on the quiz bowl team.
All right, great. Nice to have you here. Big Rapids alternates are Vincent Johnson and Cole Higgins. They're coached by Susan McCullen. Let's give them a nice round of applause. And now to the team from Manistee. Hey, Jack.
Hi, I'm Jack. I'm a junior at Manistee. I'm on the soccer team, the Science Olympiad team, and I play guitar.
I'm Liam. I'm a senior. I also play French horn and am on the Science Olympiad team.
I'm Olivia. I am a junior. I sing in the choir, play violin, and run in track and cross country.
Hi, I'm Solana. I'm a sophomore at MHS. I play soccer and run cross country and am on the Science Olympiad team.
All right, that's always nice to have Manistee. We have alternates for Manistee in Eleanor Scarlata, Megan Huber, and Cassie Pendry. The team's coaches are Polly Schlaff and Kate Thompson. Let's give them a nice round of applause. And that gets us right back into the action with the kickoff round. The kickoff round is a combination of toss-up and bonus questions. The team that correctly answers the toss-up question will be asked one bonus. Then we go back to a toss-up question for both teams. Toss-up questions need an individual response, but team members can consult on the bonus. Captains, remember that the answers must come from you on the bonuses unless you defer to a colleague. Here is your first toss-up question. A 2019 study of 500,000 children in Denmark is the largest to show no link between autism and what vaccine that targets 3 diseases? Solana, Manistee.
Polio vaccine?
Nope, I'm sorry, incorrect. Big Rapids. Okay, it was the MMR vaccine. It takes care of measles, mumps, and rubella. Another toss-up. What state, which was governed in the 1990s by Democrat Lawton Chiles, was later led by Charles Crist and Jeb Bush, who lived in Tallahassee? Tyler, Big Rapids.
Florida.
That's correct. Here's your bonus. For a mass M resting on an inclined plane, what force acting on the mass has a magnitude of mg times the cosine of the inclination angle?
I have no clue.
No answer.
All right, the answer would be normal force. Not an easy question. Toss-up question for both teams. In 2018, Brock Holt became the first player in MLB playoffs history to achieve what feat by hitting a single, double, triple, and homer in one game? Liam, Manistee.
Grand Slam.
Nope, it's called hitting for the cycle. All right, another toss-up. The Diary of Samuel Pepys describes what 1666 disaster that caused Christopher Wren to rebuild St. Paul's Cathedral? And that would be The Great Fire of London. What novel in which Christophorus dies of food poisoning and Ona dies in childbirth criticizes the meatpacking industry? Lucas, Big Rapids.
The Jungle.
That's right, and a bonus. Margrave Christian Ludwig was the dedicatee of what set of 6 instrumental concertos by J.S. Bach?
Not a music guy.
I'm sorry.
No answer.
All right, that would be the Brandenburg Concertos. A toss-up question for both teams. What numbers come in pairs called cousins if they differ by 4, are twins if they differ by 2, and have no positive factors but one in themselves? Liam, Manistee.
Prime.
That's correct, and a bonus. What literary character attends a ceremony at which he receives a medal while entirely in the nude in Joseph Heller's novel Catch-22?
I don't know. Yossarian.
Defer to Solana.
Yossarian.
That is correct. Nice. Good job. Next question for both teams. Ren from Ren and Stimpy belongs to what small dog breed named after the largest state in Mexico? Liam, Manistee.
Chihuahua.
Yep, you were right. Here you go with a bonus. What British historian identified the rise of Christianity and the loss of civic virtue as causes in his The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire?
Oh, God. Haley would know this.
Any answer?
Johnson.
Nope, Edward Gibbons. All right, both teams will get a chance to take a little bit of a break here. So our score at the end of that round, Manistee 100, Big Rapids 20. Both teams will get a chance to regroup here, and when we come back, we'll see if either one can score a perfect 10, so you won't want to miss it.
I was married to Fred Rogers for a little over 50 years.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood.
PBS was very important to him. He had gone around to check out what was this thing called educational television. And he said, I like it.
Won't you be my neighbor?
It's so important to have those values carried on for every child and every family.
Please won't you be my neighbor?
Our great state of Michigan is truly one of a kind. From the city streets to the small towns, you can see it all right here on Destination Michigan. We'll crisscross the state in search of the sights, the sounds, and of course the people that make Michigan the greatest state in the land. Take in the scenery, meet the people, and experience the wonder of the Great Lakes state. Come along with us as we share your stories on Destination Michigan.
Welcome back to the Perfect 10 round and Quiz Central. Teams, the Perfect 10 gives you 60 seconds to answer 10 questions from your choice of clues to 3 categories. The opposing team gets 30 seconds to tackle all unasked, missed, or passed questions. Manistee has the lead, so Big Rapids, you'll be going first. Today's clues to the categories are, it's all Greek to me, put the dinger next to the pigskin in the sin bin, and this category is brought to you by the letter E. It's all Greek to me, put the dinger next to the pigskin in the sin bin, and this category brought to you by the letter E. Which one of those 3 would you like?
The third one.
Let's do E.
The third one.
The third one, okay, which would be brought to you by the letter E, and the category is E-E. Give these words that end with 2 E's. A document confirming an animal's breeding and ancestry.
Pedigree.
Pedigree.
Right.
Good stuff.
Drink often made from Arabica beans.
Coffee.
Yeah. A contest or festive gathering such as for quilting or spelling.
Spelling bee. A bee.
It's a B.
B.
A bee.
Right. Delicate thread-like decoration in gold or silver.
Pass.
A Celtic spirit that wails as an omen of death.
Banshee.
Right. National currency of India.
Rupee, right?
Huh?
Rupee?
Rupee.
That's right. Sign displaying the current shows at a theater.
I don't know.
Pass.
The joint that includes the patella.
Knee.
Knee. Yeah.
Yep. Marine mammal, sometimes known as the sea cow. And we're out of time. All right. So let's turn to Manistee now. You have 30 seconds on the clock. We're looking for words that end in 2 E's. Delicate thread-like decoration in gold or silver.
Filigree.
Right. Sign displaying the current shows at a theater.
Marquee.
Yup. Marine mammal, sometimes known as the sea cow.
Manatee.
Yup. And displaced person fleeing a conflict or disaster.
Refugee.
You got it. All right. So now we move into the second round of the Perfect 10. This time we get a chance to have Manistee pick from the 2 remaining categories. And those are, it's all Greek to me, and put the dinger next to the pigskin in the sin bin.
Football. It's all Greek to me.
It's all Greek to me. Okay, I was really hoping for that other one there. It sounds interesting.
Football,
but your actual category will be Greek letters in science.
Oh, yeah.
What Greek letter is used to represent or appears in the name of a constant equal to about 22/7?
Pi. Pi.
Yep. The star system closest to the sun.
Centaur.
That's not a letter.
Yeah.
Pass.
The summation operator.
Sigma.
Yep. A phage discovered by Esther Lutterberg that infects E. coli.
C.
Nope. A landform at the mouth of a river.
Delta.
Yep. The tail end of a fatty acid chain.
Just pass.
Pass.
Okay. The most penetrating type of radiation, a type of photon.
Gamma.
Yep. With delta in the formal definition of limits.
Pass.
A protein that stabilizes microtubules that builds up in Alzheimer's disease.
Alpha.
Nope. And blockers that treat high blood pressure.
Sigma.
Nope. All right, that takes us through our questions. So Big Rapids, now it's your turn. 30 seconds on the clock. What Greek letter is used to represent or appears in the name of the star system closest to the sun?
Is it Alpha?
Alpha.
Right. A phage discovered by Esther Lutterberg that infects E. coli.
I don't know this.
I got nothing.
Pass.
Okay. The tail end of a fatty acid chain.
Isn't it? I don't know. G? No.
Beta.
Nope. With delta in the formal definition of limits.
Sigma.
Nope. A protein that stabilizes microtubules, and that builds up in Alzheimer's patients. That is a tau protein. Blockers for high blood pressure, beta. A delta in the formal definition of limits would be epsilon. The tail end of a fatty acid chain, omega. And a phage discovered by Esther Lutterberg that infects E. coli would be lambda. So at the end of the perfect 10 round, Manistee double the score of Big Rapids, 180-90. And with that, we're going to move on with our game into the home stretch round. This is just like our previous round, a bonus and toss-up question round. I'll ask one toss-up question. The team that answers correctly will be asked a bonus. Then we go back to a toss-up question for both teams. Here we go with the home stretch round. Which particles are made up of 2 down quarks and 1 up quark were discovered by James Chadwick? Liam, Manistee.
Neutron?
That's right. Here you go with your first bonus. What Mets pitcher won the 2018 NL Cy Young Award despite only accumulating 10 wins on the season?
Johnson.
Nope. Jacob deGrom. All right. What English computer scientist was honored as the inventor of the World Wide Web at the opening ceremony for the 2012 Summer Olympics? And that person is Tim Berners-Lee. Another toss-up. What continent's coastline is home to Pine Island Bay, which receives the outflow of the Pine Island Glacier and is an inlet of the Amundsen Sea? Solana, Manistee.
South America.
Nope, I'm sorry. How about Big Rapids?
Europe. Europe.
Nope, I'm sorry. Antarctica was the correct answer. Another toss-up. Which American-born poet of the Wasteland and the love song of J.J. Alfred Prufrock, Liam?
T.S. Eliot?
Yep, here you go with a bonus. Electrolysis of water is a redox reaction of what other class of reaction in which multiple products form when a single compound breaks down?
Decomposition. Decomposition?
That's right. Both teams on a toss-up. What country, where a suicide bomber targeted a polling station in Quetta in July 2018, elected former cricketer Imran Khan as its prime minister? Solana?
India.
Nope, I'm sorry, incorrect. How about Big Rapids? Lucas?
The UK.
Nope, Pakistan. Next toss-up. What element with a white oxide is used to coat steel in galvanization? Liam?
Magnesium.
No. How about Big Rapids? Go ahead.
Calcium.
I'm sorry?
Calcium.
Nope, but it would be zinc. All right, another toss-up. Which king convened the Long Parliament, was supported by the Cavaliers in the English Civil War, and was executed on orders from Oliver Cromwell? Liam, Manistee.
King John?
No. How about Big Rapids? The answer, Charles I. Another toss-up. What playwright of An Ideal Husband featured Gwendolyn Fairfax and the false identity of Jack Worthing in his The Importance of Being Earnest? And that's Oscar Wilde. Another toss-up. Albert Parsons was among those executed after what 19th century bombing which killed 7 police officers in Chicago? And that was the Haymarket Square riot. The Dew Fairy and the Sandman appear in what opera by Engelbert Humperdinck based on a grim fairy tale about a witch with a gingerbread cottage? Liam, Manistee.
Hansel and Gretel?
That's correct. Here is your bonus. Wood can be made transparent by removing what polymer made up of aromatic subunits that is the second most common polymer in plants after cellulose?
Naphthalene.
No, we can tell you hit your sweet spot on that one. It's with lignin. Okay, another toss-up which we will not get to. But that was a fun round. Manistee holds on to its lead. We're going to take another quick break. We'll come back and play the final countdown, so don't go away.
I have 3 children, Jack, Emma, and Marjorie. PBS Kids has been such a big part of our lives. We watch Daniel Tiger every day. Marjorie loves that episode when Prince Wednesday's cousin, Chrissy, is visiting, and Daniel notices Chrissy wears these leg braces.
She has braces just like me.
Getting the leg braces was difficult for Marjorie. Seeing Chrissy wear them just totally changed her mindset about it.
I feel like she was made just for me.
PBS Kids is such a value to our family.
Unlock your newest member benefit. Over 1,000 episodes of your favorite PBS shows. American Masters, Antiques Roadshow, Nature, Nova, Masterpiece. Watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere. Become a member, sign in, and start streaming today.
All right, this is it, the Quiz Central Final Countdown. It's another 2-minute rapid-fire round. The first player to ring in gets a shot at answering the question. If you get it wrong, we turn to the opposing team for a chance to answer. Here we go with Final Countdown. In economics, what adjective can refer to the tax rate paid on an additional dollar of income or the cost of producing 1 extra unit of a good? Liam, Manistee.
Marginal?
That's right. In August 2018, Julie Bishop stepped down as what country's foreign minister, where she competed for the vacancy left by PM Malcolm Turnbull? Liam, Manistee.
UK?
Nope, sorry, incorrect. How about Big Rapids? We'll find out in a second. In 1989, U.S. forces invaded what Central American country to depose its dictator, Manuel Noriega? Next question. Sorry, a little too late. What historian included the Melian dialogue in a book that also quotes a funeral oration delivered by Pericles in the history of the Peloponnesian War? Next question. The Caprivi Strip is part of what country governed from Windhoek that gained independence from South Africa in 1990? Liam.
Lesotho?
Nope, I'm sorry, incorrect. How about Big Rapids? We'll get you an answer in a second. What artist of Vision After the Sermon painted When Will You Marry and Spirit of the Dead Watching after moving to France from France to Tahiti? Liam, Manistee.
Monet.
Nope. Big Rapids. Another one we'll get back to. Stringer Bell and Detective Jimmy McNulty were characters on what HBO crime drama set in Baltimore? Solana, Manistee.
Instinct?
Nope, sorry, incorrect. Big Rapids. Next question. What scientist won the 1921 Nobel Prize in Physics for his explanation of the photoelectric effect and also proposed special relativity? Go ahead. Tyler, go ahead. Is that you?
Chadwick.
Nope, I'm sorry. Manistee, you do get a shot. Liam?
Einstein?
That is correct. All right, pulled that one out at the last second there. But Manistee hangs on for a very impressive win. Let's give them a nice round of applause. All right, let's go back and review some of the questions that were missed. The Caprivi Strip is part of Namibia. The artist of Vision After the Sermon is Gauguin. The HBO crime drama set in Baltimore was The Wire. Let's see here. Julie Bishop stepped down as what country's foreign minister? That would be Australia. An adjective that can refer to the tax rate paid on addition. No, we got that one right, actually. Central American country was Panama, and the historian was Thucydides. Why didn't one of you get it right and say it instead of me, huh? So again, it was a good game, a lot of fun. Both teams were very nice young men and women. We had a lot of fun in the studio, so let's give them a nice round of applause. And that does it for this edition of Quiz Central. Until next time, like us on Facebook or watch your favorite game online as we feature the best and brightest high school students from around the state. Thanks for tuning in.
Support for Quiz Central is provided by the CMU Bookstore. T-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, maroon and gold memories, and an official outfitter of Adidas apparel at the Central Michigan University owned and operated CMU Bookstore. Online shopping 7 days a week at cmubookstore.com, on campus at the University Center, and game day locations at Kelly Short Stadium and the John G. Kulhalvi Event Center.